Yeah, I told everybody I'd use it on the show. So they're like,
Everyone has a unique gift, and Mike, the creator of the One Life podcast, believes most people don't know how to use their gifts or what they are. Mike wants you to see things from a different perspective and be true to yourself. The One Life podcast unites the world through art, fashion, music, and film. It inspires, motivates, and creates positive energy, love, and compassion to all communities, and creates an equal playing field for all. On the One Life podcast, they cover topics like building relationships, overcoming adversity, habits of healthy people, and much, much more. We only have one life to live. Be yourself and live your truth. Add the One Life podcast to your playlist. That's the number one NE Life. Available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and your favorite podcast
What's up, y'all?
platform.
Welcome to the One Life Podcast. I am Mike M.C. Reed, and as always, I got my lovely co-host Tanya Rincon in the building with us, where we're going to talk about positive psychology while taking care of our well-being and telling your story, because everyone has an amazing story. You never know what word or story could just give someone that thought or could do to their lives. Today's episode is sponsored by the Eric Garcia You Are Enough Foundation and M&M Homemade Crafts. And in the studio today, we have Mr. Mike Modell from Alchemy Row, formerly Rubens, and Aries Entertainment.
How you guys doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Man, you look a little nervous.
I am a little nervous.
I'm not sure why.
You're
It's
just
okay.
picking on him.
It's okay.
I pick on everybody.
He doesn't actually look nervous to me.
He doesn't?
No, I wouldn't have known.
He's a little red right
He plays
now.
it kind of.
I'm always a little red. That was like,
It's like your shade.
that's a different kind of.
Is that
That's a
your
different
shade?
joke. I'm always burned, no matter what. That's my skin tone.
How you doing, Miss Tanya? First of all, can we say congratulations to Miss Tanya Rincon, because she has successfully completed a 8-month course of applied positive psychology.
What do you mean, just me? What about you?
Well,
Congratulations to you
well,
too.
thank you. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm congratulating
Oh, okay,
you, and then you
okay.
congratulate
See,
me.
I told you he was going to switch it to him. Like
Hey,
somehow.
congratulations to you both.
Yeah,
That's
thank
awesome.
you,
That's
thank you.
awesome. Like,
I
yeah, I'm
know.
so super excited.
Me too. I'm so like ready.
Ready for
Yeah,
what?
I had like a super long conversation today with the PTA president, and we're just like really excited to do stuff and get in the community with kids. And
You got
yeah,
big
all
plans
sorts of
for
stuff.
your cap. You know you can put
Yeah.
cap on the back of your name now.
I know. I put it on my calendar. I'm like, update my signature. My to-do list.
Amazing. So what's going on with you? Did you say? Oh, you didn't celebrate with me last night. When were we celebrating?
Where did you guys celebrate at?
I said she did not.
Where did you celebrate
Yeah.
at?
Oh,
Because you were not at Alchemy Row. I'm just saying. I was there. I
Mike,
left.
It's not always about you, Mike.
I was hoping it was.
What time did you leave?
I left at 1. I tried to leave earlier than that, but so it was a weird night. People left, and the same group of people that left, they ended up coming back. And when they came back, I was trying to leave, and they're like, "Are you really leaving?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm upset at you guys. You guys took off on me."
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. One, I was at Alchemy Row Wednesday night.
I know.
Late,
I know.
knowing that I had class the next morning, an all-day class, because we still had to complete an 8-hour class yesterday. So I was there late at Alchemy Row.
I am proud of you
Thank you.
for being there. It's
Thank
the best
you.
place ever.
Well,
until 1?
Well, yeah, it was something like that.
That's
and-
early for you.
I think I
I was there on Wednesday night. Till
you did.
Yeah, till
because
almost
I
1.
texted you and you came.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
did show up.
Yeah, you did
After
show
You
up.
showed up
After I
at
got-
work?
Yeah.
He showed up at work.
Well, I have 2 works, and so I was out getting equipment. And I was like, all right, I might as well
But
stop by.
you know what? The great thing I love about hanging out at Alchemy, and I'm gonna say this because the one thing I love about your spot, and everybody talks about this, is it's what we talk about in our class and something that we learn. It's a psychological safety space, and what I mean by that is there's never no drama. Like everybody has their drama, right?
Yeah.
But Alchemy Row, I can truly say there's so less drama. Like there's not like when you go to clubs and stuff where you got all the fighting and all the stupid stuff and people judging you. Here, it don't matter what you are, what color you are, what you believe in. Everybody likes each other.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is
cool vibe. It's like that old TV show Cheers.
Yeah.
Everybody knows your name. Everybody
Yeah.
has fun.
Yeah.
It's like a little family, and we do have
is.
a little bit of drama. But to be honest with you, when you go other places, like you worry about the elements,
Right.
fights, whatever that may be. And there, it's weird. I don't have any wood in here to knock on, but so I'll just do this. But I don't even have to really have like security.
No, you don't.
We all keep it safe.
Exactly.
And there's a group of us that do it, and it's
Like you said, it's a family thing. We all look out after each other.
yeah. But
Like
there is obviously alcohol
Yeah,
involved,
I mean-
so people go outside and they start fighting.
Get a little extra.
Not necessarily always fist fights. Mostly it's arguments.
It's just dumb
but
arguments.
So stupid.
It's stupid
So
arguments,
But,
right.
but for the most part, it is such a cool vibe.
It is.
And I'm really proud of that because it did start to change to that towards the end of Rubens as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time where it wasn't like that, where we had to have somebody securely keep the place safe.
I don't like that. I'll be honest with you.
I don't either.
When I walk up to a place, and there's a place out here, and I'm not going to name it, but they literally have so much security, and they pat you down, make you empty your pockets before you even walk in. And it's like, damn, if you guys have this much security and stuff,
Why?
I don't feel safe in there.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, something went down that extreme that
Yeah.
you got to do this.
I always wonder why. And it's, to me, I know this sounds weird, but tailoring your location to the type of entertainment is really actually a big part of it. And I think the type of entertainment we always have there is just like, I hate to say it, but we're like a goofy bunch.
It is.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to cause fights and nothing like that.
People just wanna go and have fun.
Whereas if you go somewhere else where they have like club type of vibes, you'll get that type of group that they're amped up. They're young. They're ready to go do,
there's some
dance
young
party.
people.
But you know what?
There is.
And like, for instance, and I'm good friends with Don Sal's, what's his name? Oh, shit.
That guy.
You're talking about
He's
the owner
really
of
bad
Dunch
with-
House?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I work
Chris.
with him.
Chris. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I work
Chris.
with him.
I know
with
Chris.
him for a while.
Yeah, Chris is like, I like going to Don Sal's, and he has the younger crowd, the club. But I love his security because they eliminate, like they're on top of things. When
Yeah.
they see any type of argument, they shut it down
Yeah.
immediately.
And that's kind of how I am too. Anybody who's willing to like really fight inside my establishment, a lot of time I'll give somebody a chance, but it's just very, very short rope.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. I try to talk to you and stop you from getting in this fight, whatever, and you still got into it, right? Okay, so now don't come here for a while, right? And then when you do come back, if something ever happens again, you'll never be allowed back in my establishment. And the reason why I do that is because people that are willing to do that in your location, they will always do it.
Yeah.
They take that advantage always. So you don't want to really tailor to someone like that. Even if it's a good customer, someone who comes and spends a lot, whatever, it doesn't matter. As soon as you're willing to fight in my establishment, which I consider my home, my room, you're fighting at my house.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got to respect when you're in someone else's house. You got to respect it.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I've
right.
been there a few times and never seen any drama. I haven't
Because
seen a
it's-
fight yet.
Like I said, it's very
Yeah.
minimal. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's mostly dumb arguments.
Yeah.
Like you really don't even see. Like I think something happened last week. I was like, did something happen? Like you don't even really pay attention to it because it's stupid.
Yeah, even Wednesday night, something happened after hours outside. And I
mean,
was
it's
like,
re-
I don't even want to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool vibes though. And, I'm from Orange County, so that's basically like, everything that I
was gonna make a comment
What?
about that.
I know, I saw your face. What about it?
No, keep going.
What? No,
It's
go
beach
ahead,
vibes there.
come
You're
on.
fine.
What's
that?
It's done. I can't explain the comment.
So, but it is a much more like you said, like you're more accepted and it's like mellow, laid back. Like everyone's super nice. So my cousin came,
I like her.
a couple
She's
weeks
awesome.
ago.
Mel.
Yeah, Melly.
Yeah, I like
That's
her.
a Melly.
She's
Melly.
cool.
Yeah,
Melly's super cool.
And so
Anyways.
anyways,
Wait a minute. So let's get back.
I wasn't even done yet.
Oh, well, tell your Orange County story. Go ahead.
I was talking about Melly and how she came
Okay.
to the bar.
That sounded really weird how
and
she came.
To the bar.
Wow.
You said it.
And she just really liked it. She really liked the vibe, and she was like,
that.
"This is so cool. Everybody's so."
And look, she wanted to
She's
leave
like,
the moment she got
everyone's-
there. I was like, no, just chill. Why? I was like, give it some time.
She was like,
'Cause
"Yeah."
she wanted to go
not
dancing.
even-
And I was like, no, let's just chill.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She wanted to go
It's okay.
Remember
I
we were
turned on
talking
some-
to you,
I turned on
he
some
put
dance
some
music.
music on, and she was like, "Okay, he's cool." Yeah,
That's awesome.
And she was just like, "I just really like the vibe, and everyone is so nice. It's so different than Orange County, and everybody was just really welcoming."
You know why, right?
Why?
Because you just said it, Orange County. I'm not gonna bash
I know
Orange
nothing
County.
about Orange County, anyways. So,
I like Orange
but
County.
you know,
I like Orange County.
Yeah, there's just different vibes. It's
It
it's
is,
cool.
it is.
It was cool. We
It's
had
not-
fun.
But it's
we had a good time.
Orange County has nothing on LA County. I'm just saying. When it comes to partying and nightlife, I'm just saying.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
true,
for sure.
But it's different, though.
It's yeah.
It's a
Orange
different
County
vibe.
has the beach next to it and
Yeah, it's all pretty.
has other stuff going on. So it's
Anyways.
just different.
So, can we talk about Mr. Mike Modell?
What do we need to talk about?
I need to know your story. I want to know, one, how and why did you acquire Alchemy Row now, formerly Rubens?
So, okay, so I have an entertainment company.
Yes.
And when I first started it, it was a promotional event planning business. So we did big
What,
shows.
Aries?
Yeah.
Okay.
We promoted clubs.
Okay.
We did big shows.
In LA.
Yeah. Well, actually, some in LA, but even down here, there was clubs down here at the time that I was promoting. That's
say,
kind of how I started.
Okay.
And there was 2 clubs specifically. And we did like band shows and stuff like that. And my dad owned a karaoke company from the time I was like 8 till I was 19. I took a couple-year break from doing it and went to school, got a degree, and I was like, I'm going to do something with this degree right away. So I started business.
What was the degree in?
Business administration.
business,
So
okay.
yeah, so I started the business not thinking it would turn into what it is. And 6 months in, I was like, you know what? My money's going like roller coaster. I'm like sometimes breaking even on gigs, sometimes making, sometimes losing. That's how it was going. So I was like, I'm going to supplement my income, and I'm going to go get a setup, and I'm going to do karaoke gigs on the side just to have extra cash coming in. So I go to my dad. I'm like, hey, I'm going to revamp our setup, take all of our music, rip it to a hard drive, because back in this day, it was discs when my dad had it. I still have 90,000 discs of karaoke music
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
in a shed somewhere. And I'm like, I took I think 3 weeks to rip all the music to a hard drive, because this is the beginning era. And so I did that, and word got out real quick that a Modell was doing karaoke shows. So the owner of Rubens came to my very first karaoke gig that I had first started, and he was like pining. He heard Modell. He thought it might be my dad. He shows up. I'm there. A few minutes later, my dad shows up too, and he hears we're going to do it. So he starts trying to get me to do karaoke at his place. Lo and behold, he talked me into it. That's contract number 1. It's the first gig I ever got starting the karaoke side of Aries Entertainment.
Okay.
And so that was in 2006. So been there 16, 17 years, whatever it is, and they start talking about closing the business down, and I'm like, I can't let this place close. I just can't. So a few months before they closed, I start pining to try to grab it. I had no idea I'd be able to make it happen, and I somehow made it happen, and that's really all she wrote. Really.
Well, okay, so but I mean, but you worked at Rubens.
Yes, I did.
So, I mean, how did that all come about?
So Ruben, the original Ruben hired me to do karaoke. Within a year and a half, I meet my now best friend Jack, and he's acquiring the bar. So he buys Rubens, and for 8 years, when I say I did everything in that bar, I did everything.
Right.
I did all of his entertainment. I worked the kitchen. I started working the bar. And we made Rubens one of the hottest bars in town for a little while. Schooners closed down, and we capitalized off the close down. We went out and got all kinds of people to come to this place. So back in the day, if you'd go to Rubens, people were hanging out the doors. I mean, it was packed every night. And I like to say that was because my best friend, he came to me when he bought it and said, hey, how do we make this place hot? And I said, okay, well, follow me for 6 months. And he did. He went to all the places that I promoted, all the clubs at the time, everything that I promoted, he did. And so what he did is he attached himself to me. So for a while, we got known as Mike and Jack for a while. If you saw one of us, we were together, yeah. So we did that for about a year and got the bar busy. And in that, I started doing all these different jobs. So, I want to say about 10 years into Aries, I was like, I need to own my own place. So the dream came alive from that moment. Like, I need to do what I'm doing for myself because I'm doing it for all these other owners. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there had been 3 times total that I almost bought Rubens, but this time it's weird with business how things when they're meant to happen, they're just gonna happen.
Right.
And that's what happened with this one. When Jack sold it, I almost bought it then, but I was scared. Something bad happened. His business started to kind of tank, and I didn't think I could save it. So when the new owners bought it from Jack, they hired a manager who had been there with me the entire time, and she was like, let's do the same thing. And I was like, I don't know if we can save it. And we did. We turned Rubens around, and it got busy again. So I was like, man, I should have bought it then. And this time I was like, I'm not letting it pass.
Right.
I'm just going to jump on it. You know, I'm older. I've been in business for a long time. I think I know what I'm doing. I think.
You think?
Yeah.
I think you're doing all right.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay.
I think you're doing all right.
But I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of things I did not know. And it is scary. It is a very scary endeavor. And people are like, why? You seem to, be doing well. No, there's so much to it. There's so many moving parts that I didn't know on so many levels if this was going to happen. And I still wake up with that thought process. I still go to sleep with that thought process. Am I going to wake up tomorrow and they're going to tell me I can't do this? Because there's all these little pieces behind the scenes that people don't know.
Don't see, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think you're doing great. I think the community in itself is happy that you kept that place alive. I think that place is a landmark.
I think so too.
Everybody knows it. Everybody, like I said, it reminds me of Cheers.
Yeah.
So
and it's been there for 40 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad you stepped up to the plate and you took ownership of it. And I think a lot of people in the community appreciate it too. And I think that's what's working. Like how we was talking off air. It's the location. People love the location and the bar itself.
Yeah.
And with that, when you have a community behind something like that, it's not that difficult to keep the doors open.
Yeah, I think the things that we've always said that it needed, we attacked those first without even thinking about it. And that's what's really changed the location. Like, they always said that place could have been good for food, being in that catty corner spot with Northrop Lockheed right there. But nobody really tried to develop it because people don't know this, but the food industry, like the profit margin is very low.
Yeah.
So it's not meant to make a lot. It's hard to make a lot of money off of the food side of the business. And if you look into this, anybody will tell you, especially in California, but really in the U.S., the restaurant bar business is the hardest business in our nation for 100%. A reason. And it is because there's a million SKUs. Keeping your profitability on all those things is hard. It really is hard. And so the restaurant side, I think the other owners were scared to do it. Whereas I've jumped on it. We're on DoorDash. The food quality has gotten 10 times better. And
yeah, I've heard that your
food's believe really it or not, it keeps people. So even if I break even on the food, at least I got people there, being patrons of what we're doing. You know what I mean?
I've heard that your food's really good though.
It is good. No, it is. For a dive bar, food is great.
The last few months of Rubens, I wouldn't even eat there because it was the quality of food they were getting. It wasn't that it was bad or anything. It just wasn't restaurant quality as far as I'm concerned. And that's the big change is we went restaurant quality.
No, and it is good. A lot of people, I actually see more people eating there every day I go there. Like everybody seems to got food. Yeah. And you never really saw that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what got me the most. Somebody yesterday, a random person was like, dude, I don't know what it is, but your guys' wings are my favorite wings in town. I was like, okay. And I was like, really? They're like, yeah, better. It used to be Coach's. And I think this is better than Coach's. And I was like, that's a statement. Like that to me, I don't know if we're that good, but I thought that was nice to hear.
When's the last time you tried your wings?
I eat them all the time.
Yeah.
I got a very specific type of rub, and it's my
Ooh.
favorite rub of all time. And I think selling that side of it, like people are like, dude, I'm coming here from now on.
I gotta get some wings.
I had some wings last night.
Did you?
Yeah, from Elena was eating some, and I had some of hers.
At
Rubens.
Oh, really?
I mean, Alchemy Row.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good. They're good. And people don't know we have a lot of different flavors, but they're all really good. The wings, the
we still say Rubens, right? I know you don't like it, but
it's my first. It's my first. It's my first contract, right? I still say Rubens.
I know, and you still wear the damn jacket because you had the jacket yesterday.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
Hilarious.
But I don't think that's a bad thing.
No,
because as long as people know it, right. Like I like when people say the row now. But I think because it's been there for 40 years, I think people are always going to say Rubens.
Yeah, and the thing is, I knew it before it was Rubens. It was called Bose before that. and
shit, I know that.
but Rubens, it stayed Rubens for so long. It's hard not to say
It's
it.
hard not to say it.
And people ask me all the time, why did you change the name? Unfortunately, I had to because of the status of the corporation. But I probably would have kept it if I didn't have to.
Yeah.
However, I am really happy that I changed
And when
it.
did you? I'm sorry, we didn't mention that, right? When did you take over?
I was given the opportunity on July 11th, as far as I knew I was going to get it.
Wow.
But
So
it
yeah,
took
it's
me
super new.
It took me
Yeah.
39 days
Yeah.
to renovate. So
Super
we didn't
new.
open. We didn't open until the 29th of August.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, and it's crazy because when I heard you was renovating, two things. One, when I heard you were changing the name and renovating, and I was like, those are two bad ideas, because one is a dive bar, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, and I didn't know what you was going to do, but I think you did the right amount of renovation and still kept the dive bar.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
And we're not all the way done, but either way, the biggest deal was that it doesn't matter if you're a dive bar or not, the bar still needs to be clean. If you're
Right.
eating out of there or drinking, food,
Yeah.
like it needs to feel clean.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing was when, and again, I might not have done this had what happened if it didn't happen the way it did. Right. In other words, when I came in to make the deal happen, I didn't know I could make it happen, but once I got the agreement in place and then I talked to the owner and he agreed to sell it to me, he had already ripped so many things off the wall. So now I'm seeing what the walls look like.
Right.
And that place probably hadn't been cleaned in 30 years. I'm just saying, not correctly.
No, and
So cleaning it, painting it, making it smell better, like those are all
Yeah.
things that
No,
had to
That's
happen.
important.
No, and
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. That's why I love the fact that you did that. But you still kept I guess
Old school bar.
the old
Yeah,
school
like the
neighborhood
vibe.
bar, like
The feel,
like
yeah.
you still kept that, and that's I think what was important.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and I
it's,
like
it's a little bit of an older building, so it was easier
to do. Yeah.
easier to do. But we
Easier to
didn't
do
we didn't
that.
change the bar yet, which I say yet because eventually I have to.
You got to make it a little bigger so people can dance on
There are
it.
certain things I can't.
She
I
wants to
can't.
do
There's
Ugly
certain
Coyote.
things I cannot do. I would love to. Trust me. I've gone to sleep and dreamt about what I would do to the bar if there was no.
Well, you would have to
opposition.
get rid
If
of
there
that
was-
beam.
If there was nothing I could, if there was nothing I couldn't do, there's things I would do, and even they could be done. But you know, there's other things to it. It would cost a lot.
Yeah, you talking about
It
really
would
tearing
cost
that
a
down.
lot of money. Because if I could, I would change the bathroom situation right away. We've already put a new bathroom in, but the second bathroom would have gotten done too. But I can't really move it without doing major renovations. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. I probably won't do that.
I mean, at that point, you might as well just tear the whole thing down and rebuild.
Yeah, but I like the bones of it though. That's the problem. So I
Right.
think you could do things off of it. It would just take a lot of money, and it's not. I mean, not to tell. It's not my building. If I own the land at some point, these are things I would probably do.
Right.
But not for a long time. But hopefully in the next 10 years, it'll be mine. That's my plan.
So let's go back a little bit. One, I want to say Aries Entertainment is very successful out here, and I want to shout out all your KJ. I don't want to shout all of them out by name, but I know most of your KJs.
Yeah.
And they're incredible. Just because I'm a karaoke junkie.
Yep.
Like and I love all your KJs.
Yeah.
Like they're amazing.
Yeah.
They make you feel welcome. I mean, they all.
I got lucky. I got lucky with some good ones. But I've had some bad ones too, which
I bet.
I got some funny stories.
But the ones that I know,
I got some funny stories.
the ones that I know, like I love them all. Like,
Yeah, they're all good.
they're all cool people.
They're all good. In fact, everybody that's working for me currently has been with me a long time.
You know who I don't want to say my favorite, but the one that I didn't like when I first met Bama. When I first met Bama, I looked at her and I was like, but it was like a vibe where I was like, that's a cool motherfucker. But like I wouldn't have never like if I would have met Bama somewhere else, I probably like wouldn't even paid attention to him or like that's someone I can see like doing something with.
What's funny, it's funny how Bama became a KJ, actually. And funny enough is how long I've known Bama and all the different Bamas I've gotten. Because of when I first met Bama, I was actually, funny enough, training to fight. I don't know if you know this, but I've trained for over a decade. But I was actually competing when I met Bama. And I was on a poster in one of the bars that we did karaoke for. It was called The Office. It's now Happy Hours. We did karaoke there. Bama shows up with this group that are into like plays. So they did a lot of that type of music, and Bama's in the group. And there was this really weird guy in the bar that I had to drag out at some point. But what started was the guy grabbed Bama's junk on the dance floor.
Oh, wow.
And so he kind of flipped out. The guy had already kind of started problems. So the bartender, because they sponsored me, he always looked at me and was like, Mike, can you help me out? Because there was no security. So I dragged this guy outside to the middle of the street. And that's literally how I met Bama. And Bama was just fresh. I think he was actually still in the military when I met him, working on Edwards. And so he was fresh military, like all clean cut. And so you see him now. It's just funny. He's like, everybody I know that goes to the military, when they get out, they do this. They like grow their hair out, grow a beard because they can. And that's Bama. Like, it's just funny, like, when I first met him, how different he is. You know what I mean?
I love his personality.
He's such
a good dude. I mean, he's funny. He's fun. Like, especially on the microphone. Like, he's very entertaining.
Yeah, he really is. So, anyways, back to him becoming the KJ. The pandemic hits. My business goes out the window with the pandemic. And I didn't know, at first I thought it was going to be short, but then once I realized it was going to be longer, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to come back from this. So now we reopen, right? And Rubens always they did karaoke. I had a couple hosts that did it. They shut down for a little while. And then when Rubens came back, since that was my only contract, I did the karaoke. I was like, I'm not going to hire a host for no work. I'm just going to come do it. So I was doing it for a while. And one day I was tired. And I didn't feel like doing it, and I was joking around with Bama. I was like, Bama, he high-fived me, and I was like, I always say, anybody who high-fives me, I'm like, tag, you're it. That means you're in. Right. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, you're it. And then he grabbed the mic and started hosting, and it was a joke at first. But then we were like, he's actually kind of fit for it. We've always thought he would be a good personality for it. I just didn't know he would want to do it, and that's it. He started doing all the shows in the pandemic. And then when we came back and some of the KJs came back, he had dropped a couple of his nights, but for a while he was doing it every freaking night, you know? So
it fits him.
So do you do it every night?
Seven nights a week, 18 locations.
Wow.
Yeah, I have about 11 to 15 employees. I say that because 11 of them are all the time, and then there's like 4 or 5 that I will call if I am in a pinch. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, we do anywhere from 30 to 40 gigs a week just in karaoke.
But just in Antelope Valley or LA?
We do a little bit out, but most of it's out here. We do some in Lake Hughes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've done it all over though, all the way to Apple Valley, all the way to LA.
So what's your guys' like most events? What is it at? Bars? Is it at like
it's mostly
weddings?
It's mostly dive bars, but it's dive bars
weddings.
It's dive bars and restaurant bars.
That sounds like a good idea. Karaoke for a wedding, like after party.
We do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people at weddings don't want like drunk singers, so they don't want to open up karaoke. But what they'll do is the last like 30 minutes of a reception, they'll let people sing a little bit. Yeah, I've seen it like that. But that's cool. Karaoke at a wedding could be really bad, really quick.
It can be, yeah.
But to answer your question, we do it mostly at bars and restaurant bars. Really, is for the most part.
And I got to shout out Latifah because she's one of my favorites. Latifah is amazing. She used to do a segment with me on here on the show when I first started. But,
she's awesome.
Yeah, Latifah. She could sing.
She really can.
Fucking Latifah could sing.
She could do everything though. She can act, sing. Yeah. She can do it all. She's awesome.
And I was surprised and I know you always own the karaoke entertainment as part of it, but the first time I heard you sing was like a few weeks ago. I didn't know you know how to sing.
Yeah,
I didn't know you know how to sing.
I was like, I don't know how you. I didn't know you missed.
He did. You did Ed Sheeran.
Thinking out loud.
Thinking out loud.
No way.
I was like, this motherfucker killed it. I was like, the fuck.
So all this time you never heard him.
I never heard him sing.
How often do you sing?
So I go in and out of it. There's times where, like I said, when I first started, when we first started doing karaoke, the reason why people followed us is because of me and my dad singing. In fact, the Drifters, we've done shows like that where we sing the breaks and stuff like that. So I've been singing a long time, but you should hear my dad sing. My dad is incredible. Like he's probably the best.
I've never heard him sing.
He's probably the best male singer out here, especially in his heyday. Wow. Like he is so good, and he's a old school good. Like that. Like he sings better than Elvis type of good.
That is
you know
awesome.
what I mean? So that's kind of where we get it from. But I would say, especially in the beginning of me starting the business, I sang 7 days a week. And then that fluctuates. Like I start getting burned out a little bit, so I'll take some breaks. That's probably why he's never heard me sing.
Well, no, I've never heard you sing because before you took over Rubens, now Alchemy, I hung out at Rubens every now and then.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there as much as I am now.
That's true.
And I will always be at Zelda's or somewhere else where he had his setup, but he would never, like he would just set up and leave for the host.
Right.
So that's why I never heard him sing. It wasn't until I started hanging out at Alchemy that I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because he jumps on every now and then. Yeah. Now it's like, so now when he sings, it's like, I'm not going after him.
No.
Like, don't put me after him.
I'm okay.
He goes, he's like lover boy. He goes, puts his chair down, got all the girls like all around him.
Swooning. So does your dad come out ever?
He does. He comes out Sundays. Yeah.
But I never seen him sing on a
stop
Sunday.
by on a Sunday.
He comes Sunday.
But does he still sing?
Yeah, he's part of that Sunday 7 to 11. He's not what he used to be, but he's still so good. He didn't sing
a couple of Sundays ago when I was there. He didn't sing.
He might not have been.
Oh, well, maybe I came late.
Yeah, he goes 7 to about 9, 10.
Okay, yeah.
The whole time?
Huh?
The whole time?
What do you mean?
No,
like,
that's how long he's just there.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, he'll come out.
Yeah.
Sundays, we used to do a karaoke spot called Mossman's. And there's an older group that used to follow my dad. And my dad, out of all the karaoke hosts we've ever had, he's had the deepest following.
Right.
But when you go there, you'll laugh because when I say deepest following, there's like 60 plus older people. So he had my older crowd for a long time. We do Mayflower Gardens. And that group was younger at some point, you know, and then they've just gotten older and older. But so it's so funny when we would do Mossman's, it would be that age group and it would be all the people that love to sing from that group and they follow dad. They follow him tough. Cool. So wherever he was at. But that same group now comes to Alchemy Sundays for 7 to 11 because KJ Chris, who does Sunday 7 to 11, that was my dad's, not protege, but he would work just for my dad. And then when my dad retired, I took him on and said, okay, well, why don't you start doing your own shows? So he worked with just dad. So he's got that group. That little group follows him.
So
but
cool.
But see, our group, people that I hang around at Alchemy, we don't get there till like 11.
Yeah, because you guys are the late night group.
Yeah, we the late night crew. We shut it down.
Yeah. I don't remember. I was somebody from your little group. I was laughing. I was telling them that I'm tired of being there. That I'm tired of being your guys' nightcap. Wherever you guys go beforehand and show up at literally 11 to 2 a.m. Some of the people in his group will show up at 2 a.m. And I have one.
No, it's Diana. 1:58.
Diana specifically.
It's Diana and Chris.
I wasn't.
They're known for that.
So names.
Look, we'd be at places and they'd be like, "All right, come on, we got to go to Rubens."
I'm like, really? So you just know that I'm going to let you sit here a little bit past 2. So you come here I'm your end. end. That's not right.
But no, that's actually a compliment.
Yeah, it is and it isn't.
Because we go
business-wise, it's rude.
No, think about it. There's a lot of places that shut down early out here.
Yeah.
So we try to support everybody. So we try to, go places. Like last night, I was somewhere last night because I wanted to celebrate. She was with me, but then she went home. She's a little Debbie Downer. But then I was on my way to Alchemy.
Yeah.
And then I think I called Angelo. And I was like, "Hey, where you at?"
Angelo.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, where you at?" And he was like, "Man, I'm just leaving Woodland Hills. I'm on my way." So then I was like, and I tried to call Diane, and she didn't return my call last night for whatever reason. So I couldn't get a hold of nobody, and so I was passing my street, and I was like, "Okay, you know what? I'm just going home because I gotta get up in the morning."
So you just gave up on me. You quit.
I did not
quit on me. You quit on me last night.
I'm gonna be there tonight, Mike.
All right.
Mike,
good.
I graduated yesterday, so.
Congratulations.
I need one of those shots.
I'm happy for you guys. That's awesome. I got you.
I know you do.
You know what's so funny? Speaking of Angelo too, I have an idea for you and Angelo for an event, which we'll talk about.
An event?
Yeah. Something that I'm gonna do on a regular basis at Alchemy. Oh. It's gonna involve you too.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Okay. So anyways, I want to go back to your childhood. Because everybody has a story, and I want to know your childhood story. Because I want to know, like, it seems like you've always had entrepreneurship in your blood,
yeah,
right? But like all of us, we've all been through some type of adversities, right? So I want to know that, and I want to know Like, where did you get it from? Because from their stories, it sounds like you got your entrepreneurship from your dad.
Definitely. It's funny because of talking about Aries Entertainment made me think of a story with my dad. I was 15, 16. I'd already been working with him almost 8 years. And I said,
What, prior to 16, 18?
So I started doing karaoke with dad at 7.
Oh,
8.
okay. Wow.
So I would go, tote gear around, whatever. And that role became more and more significant. My dad developed something that had not been done with karaoke. Back in the day, you just wrote on a slip and you handed it in and just relied on the KJ to do it. Well, he was like, I want to be the first karaoke company to have a server. Well, we're serving up karaoke. You're going to go to that person's table and you're going to have a pen and paper and you're going to write down what they want. You're going to make them feel comfortable. They don't even have to get up. Whatever, make sure you're always constantly rotating this list. And I think that style of karaoke is what made us popular to begin with. And plus, my dad sang really good. So he had a big following of people that would come out just to listen to him sing. In fact, we have tapes of him doing Elvis shows, all kinds of stuff. That's pretty cool. But anyways,
so that's why your KJs come up to me while I'm just chilling somewhere.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, you doing another song? What's your next song? What's your next song?
That's how they're supposed to do it.
Right.
We've done. There's some people that have gone away with it, and they realize now I hate it. I don't like the clipboard thing. I like them to come to your table. I like them to serve you. It's about you. It's not about them.
Right.
And some of our KJs get to that point where they're a little bit prima donna, like a little bit. It's about them too much, about their show too much. Whereas we always have preached that when we get too many singers, you take yourself off the list. Your job is to host and run a good show for them. It's not for you, So anyways, we start working. We were working together 8 years or so. And I like it. I love singing. Even back then, I was awful. I would break windows. It was so bad. No. And so I told my dad at 15, 16, I was like, hey, do you think I could do this as a main job? And my dad's like, nah, this is a side thing. My dad always did it on Fridays and Saturdays from the time I was 8 till I was 19. And I remember that conversation. And, fast forward, I did turn it into a business. Didn't think it would happen like that. Like, people were like, this is all you do? I'm like, this is all I do. 7 days a week, multiple shows. Yeah. That was the trick. You can't just do one show for 5 nights and make really a good enough living for me, to have a family and do all those things. So that's why it's funny looking back at it now that I turned this into that. Not purposely, but it's just funny that we were able to do that.
So, but your dad did it, you said 1 night a week, but he probably had
he did it Fridays and Saturdays from the time I was 8 till I was 19. He always, my dad worked 7 days a week, probably my whole life, 6 days, 7 days, but he always did Fridays and Saturdays, and that's all he thought he could do it. He didn't think we could make it happen on the weekdays. And that's
but did he do it as a business?
Yeah. His
wasn't a side?
His business was called Mo Entertainment.
But then he had another thing that he was doing
He worked at Northwood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he had his regular job, and then he did this. This was his side thing. But I've never met anybody who loves to sing more than my dad. He just loves it. So that's how he kind of started.
Yeah.
I think I went away from it. What was the original question here?
Like how you got into it?
Well, no, how you got into it?
Entrepreneurship.
How you got? Yeah, and it kind of, you just explained it. It was always in you. Your dad did it. But I guess I want to know. My next question was, what type of adversities have you gone through just owning a business and having to deal with employees? I know that's not easy.
You know what? It's the hardest part about it. Yeah. And funny enough, I did go through a lot of adversity. Obviously, the pandemic, shutting down, all kinds of different stuff. But starting the business, it's funny. I sat on it, which people don't understand what that means. It means I started the business and I went through the growing pains of not making a lot of money.
Right.
And I just kept going. I stayed on it. And that's the hardest thing that people don't understand with business. Sometimes you just have to sit on the business to let it grow.
Yeah.
It's not always about how much you can push it, because you could push it to a point and then you will peak out no matter what you do. So sitting on it for a long time, it's really kind of funny enough, which got me through the hardest parts. I always have hustled. So that means on those times where I'm not making money, that means I'm doing something else. I worked on airplanes for a while. I ran other businesses like Rubens. At some point, that was my main income, bartending and just running that business, because of, Aries was slow rolling.
But you sat on it because you believed in it.
Yeah, and
And
it always,
you
and
had
don't
to be
get me
patient.
wrong, it always made money.
Right.
It just mean how much it made, how much it produced.
Right.
Where it's at today, it was not there 2006, 2007, 2008. 2009, something happened, and all of a sudden I just grew. And it was just because I've been around for a while.
It was
I
consistency.
established myself, consistency,
Right.
and the professionalism behind karaoke. A lot of times you get KJs that, they like to drink or whatever, and they just, it's a fun thing. Like I said, it's a side thing. They don't make it their main thing. So I think that's the other reason why I got through some of those moments. Some of those hard moments is I was always professional. I always had a team behind me no matter what. It didn't matter how much that took or how much I didn't make off it. I just sat on it for long enough for it to grow,
And I think that's where a lot of people, that's where they fail
Like
at
tap
business. Right, because even like when I had Refi from Refi Snacks on the show a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about that because he said he went to the seminar and some guy.
Called him.
Huh?
I called him.
Oh, I would have.
Yeah, I want to get him in there.
Yeah, but he went to a seminar and some big business guy told him, hey, it takes about 3 to 5 years to really get established in any business, right?
Yeah.
But he was like, but your first year you can't count because your first year is you learning, and then from there now you have something measurable. Now from the second you start from you counting from your second year. That first year is just all learning.
Yeah.
Like that shit don't count.
And funny enough, it's funny. I accrued so much debt the first year that I
Right.
opened the business. Like I was telling somebody this, I don't know when, but the other day, like when I started the company, I was going through a rough time in life. I was newly divorced and I got married young, and we ended up just realizing we're better friends, whatever, but it was rough. There was some cheating and all that stuff. So that first 6 months, I used Aries to party. And I admit that. Like, I know, I was like, at some point, people were like, oh, how's your business doing? I was like, this isn't even real. This isn't, I'm not even going to make money out of this. This is fake. And then the 6 month mark, all of a sudden, the business became a real business, real profitable. And something that somebody told me, like when I was going to school, there was only a couple things that I remember. People always think that school, like, you're just going to hold all this information. 90% of school is commitment. So you're going to commit to what the idea of it. And then after you're done with school, you have that validity. Hey, I committed to this idea. I'm going this route with my life, right? So the two things I remember most is one is how to borrow money when you own a business and how much to. I don't know why I remember that. I just did. And second was that all businesses make money. But it's all about what you do with that business,
Right.
of how much you're going to make. But they all make money. They all can make money.
Yeah.
And I just stuck with that person. I stuck with that thought process the entire way through. And at the 6 month mark, when I saw it, I was like, oh, I can make money doing this, and this could be my main life. And I worked at Northrop, and at the 6 month mark, I had matched my income at Northrop, and I left.
Wow.
And people were like, you left Northrop. You left this good career-like job, which where I was at Northrop wasn't necessarily that, but I see why they say that. It could have been that. I would have been at Northrop for 20 years this year. And I'm like, but it's the best thing I've ever done. And people are like, that's crazy to them. It's crazy, but I'm my own boss. I create my own time, and I created my own thing, and I created an income for not just me, but so many others,
Yeah.
so many others.
It-
And it
you
makes
know
me
what?
feel good.
Yeah, it makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like you're passionate about it.
Yeah, and I hated working at Northrop. People are like, you did? I was like, it was like, for me, it
Yeah.
was like kind of like monkey work. It was the same thing every day, and I'm just
yeah.
not that, it doesn't vibe with my personality.
So it was
unfortunately.
probably like your mentality, but also like your passion that really kept you going.
Yeah, and like I was saying with the whole divorce thing, right? I felt trapped there. It felt like a prison.
Yeah.
And I think
like you used
in
it as an
hindsight, I'm
escape.
like, I could have kept that and it could have been a source of retirement to
Yeah.
this day, right?
Yeah.
But back then I remember feeling trapped, and I had to, like, I was going to move, I was going to leave. I felt like my life had, tanked.
Yeah.
So Aries pulled me out of that. It really did.
But so, I mean, think about this for a minute. And this is where, again, part of where most people fail, right? So earlier you said, as a kid, you asked your dad, can I make a living off of this? He said, no, it's just a side thing, right?
Yeah.
But most parents do that to us. Like when we kids, we all dream about stuff, right? So obviously that was a dream of yours. And that's why, like, I try to tell kids nowadays, hey, if you have a dream, keep dreaming and don't tell nobody, especially your parents, because they're going to tell you you can't do it. And that's not a bad thing because our parents are supposed to protect us, right?
Right.
But when you're a kid, you're supposed to take those dreams. So for you, you asked your dad, like, hey, can I do this for a living? So that has always been in you, right?
Yeah.
You finally realize as an adult, like, if I'm just patient with this and keep doing it, be consistent with it. And now look, your dream came true because you didn't give up on that dream. You kept that dream. Most adults have dreams and they never follow through with it.
Yeah.
And with that too, it's like you got to be careful, like who you ask, and it probably didn't help that you weren't asking somebody that was already like doing it already. Like, I mean, and so it's when you ask that person that gave you that advice and you stuck with it, like that mentality, and that actually did help. But somebody that maybe hadn't seen it, they were like, yeah, I don't think so, because they weren't, So yeah, you got to be careful. Like, ask somebody that knows.
What's weird about advice from your parents too? So like my dad he said, nah, I think it's more of a side thing. I think that was his extent of where he could dream with it,
right?
Because of my dad's super anal retentive, for lack of a better term. And he couldn't hire somebody else to do what we do. He, to this day, will come to my show, adjust my sound, and still give me shit. And I've been doing this 30 some odd years. He'll still do it. So you can imagine what he says about my host. He hates it. It drives him nuts, So he's not meant to do it.
Yeah, we're all different.
But
no, we are different.
But as parents, though, we give our kids advice based on the amount of work. This is the funny thing. This is the biggest thing that people don't realize, that we give advice based on the amount of work something's going to take. Right. Like, we don't want our kids to have to work hard to make a living and be comfortable. Right. It's weird. But what people don't understand is anything that's worth it is extremely hard and takes a lot of work and a lot of persistence. And people, especially your own business. I remember people getting mad at me. At one point, Aries was running so well that all my gigs were ran, and I'm sitting at home playing video games, doing nothing, making money. Yeah. And it would drive these people that go to work every day at 5 in the morning, like my brother, my parents, my dad at the time. It would drive him nuts. He couldn't understand. He was like, how, like, you don't do anything. And I'm like, but I did something. Yeah. Right. You don't understand.
You didn't just see
you see that, but what you don't see is that the first year I worked 7 days a week, 2 jobs. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go to work, and I would just be getting done with work. I would literally, there are so many days I can tell you that when I was first starting the business, I would promote till 3 or 4 in the morning because of after parties, whatever. Right. Get home, get in the shower, get ready, and go to Northrop. Right. I did that for 6 months straight. Yeah. And people don't see all that. I'm looking for the payoff down here where I can sit home and make a little bit of money sometimes. Yeah. But you always have to insert yourself. Yeah.
But see, that's the sacrifice that I try to tell people. Like, when you start in a business, there's so much sacrifice. Yeah. Like, a lot of people, and this is, again, part of a lot of small businesses where they fail, is like they all want their own business because they don't want to do the 9-5, but then they try to do that whole work-life balance thing, and there's no such thing as a fucking work-life balance. It's gonna be sacrifice. It's gonna be, oh damn, I gotta do this over here so I can support my dream. Yeah. And it may take 5 years, it may take 10 years, but I got to do this hustle so I can have income that to support my dream until it can support itself.
Yeah, as an entrepreneur, same thing with Alchemy, right? People think, I bought this bar. Oh, you're rich. Right. No, I'm poorer now than I've ever been. And I say that honestly, and I want people to know this because I put so much in. I'm not going to see a return on this for 3 years. Exactly. But that's the thing. I see that in 3 years, then I will be like, okay, this is, now I have 2 businesses that are going to be profitable. Right.
People see all the people at the bar and all the drinks going on. Everybody know bars make a lot of money, right? But they don't understand where that money is going.
Well, then that's the thing, is that the real true profit margin on anything is, especially for a restaurant, is if you look up the largest chains in the world, BJ's, all those places, right? How much would you think they profit off their food? How much do you think?
You know what? Honestly, I don't know, but I will tell you this, because I got a good friend of mine who her husband is a general manager for one of the biggest restaurants in Burbank, and he told me this, and I didn't even know this. He told me people don't realize that when you start a restaurant, it takes about $35,000 on waste just to get the menu right. Right, $35,000 on waste.
So the true number is 8 to 10%.
Right,
it's a really low number. So the reason why people are like, well, why does BJ's, why do those places do it? Well, they do it on volume.
Yeah.
They make their money off of volume, but their profit margin is still only 10%. Why do all those restaurants have bars in them? That's why. Because bar business, the profit margin is 50% plus. So they're trying to make their money off of booze too. Yeah. So that's why I try to tell people this business is hard. The business that I have right now is doing well, but I'm not going to see nothing out of it, not for a long time. Right. And that's why they're like, well, why do you back here bartending? That's why. Yeah. That's why I have to make money because I'm going to go under if I don't. I have to eat up some of this payroll for a while. In 3 years, hopefully, I'm not back there anymore. That's the goal.
No, and I teased you one night. I was like, why do I need to tip him when he's the owner? Like that's like double dipping.
But no, you know how many people have said that? Okay, so I bartended. My wife, she worked at the bar and got really sick, had to have a major surgery, and I took over. That was 3 years ago now. So I've been bartending her. She worked 2 or 3 nights a week. I bartended her 3 nights the last 3 years, plus ran the business, right? And I find it funny that before I bought the bar, I used to get, tipped great. But some of my friends, some of my favorite people in the world, they're like, dude, you own this place. I'm not tipping you. I'm like, I'm poor. I was making more money then.
Right.
I was like, please tip me, at least for a little while,
Give me $1, damn.
It's funny how that is. But that's the cool thing about being an entrepreneur, though, too, is that you do get to see, at the end of the day, you get to see what your work actually does. You know what I mean? And I think that's why, in the long run, I think I'm going to be successful because of how hard I actually do work, and people don't see that. I work 7 days a week. I have for 3.5 years. My wife doesn't work a lot because of sickness and stuff, and now she's even starting to hit back in because she has that same ethics. She wants us to do so well that she's willing to take risks on her body just to be there so we can eat up some of that cost. And she's a hard worker too. So we have that mentality, and I think that's what's going to make us win. A lot of people buy a business thinking they can just sit back, and that's a mistake. That's kind of the mistake of the former Rubens owner, is that he let other people run it, and that bar can't afford it. It's a little bar. It can't afford a manager. Not yet. Not until we're really rolling, So I'll be in there all day, every day. That's it, And I am.
It's part of the sacrifice.
It really is, and you do. People.
It.
That's the thing about being an entrepreneur. It's taxing in a different way. People are like, I get up to 9 to 5. I know so many entrepreneurs who would love to go back to that 9 to 5 because they're used to it. They're used to the repetition of it. Whereas then with a business, sometimes you are going to work every day. Like, I swear to you, I have not taken a vacation in 5 years, 6 years, because the busy days, the days you want to go vacation on, those are my work days. I can't change that.
But people think entrepreneurship, and part of this is true. Yeah, owning your own business and being an entrepreneur, you have the freedom to do what you want, right?
Yeah.
We all had the freedom to get up, go to work when we want, take the days off we want. But when we do that, especially in my business, if I decide to sleep into noon, right? Yeah, I could do that, but I'm not making no money, right? Yes, when you grow your business and scale your business at a certain point, maybe it's 5 years, 10 years down the road, then I can hire somebody to take over, and I can sit back and now really enjoy it.
You can delegate a little bit,
right? People don't realize though those first 3 to 5 years is you putting in the work.
Yeah,
I can take the day off. But then I'm not going to make no money.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not doing it all. I mean, I do have a great crew, but like I said, it's limited of what I can do with it right now. And even they have a hard time understanding that part. The part is like, I can't necessarily afford a manager or afford to delegate work. Like, people always ask me, they can see I'm burnt out. They can see like, you look tired today. I'm like, I know, I am. Why are you here? Have somebody do this. I'm like, I can't yet. I can't. So I'm trapped in it a little bit. But eventually I will get out of it, and the hard work will pay off. And
I think people like you there. Because you create that great atmosphere. You create that great customer service. Because, I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I love, all your staff, they're all amazing. But when I walk in, the first thing I do, I look for you. Because he makes you feel
you're always sitting next to him.
Yeah.
You jealous?
Jealousy.
No.
Jealous?
You wish.
Is that why you're sitting close to him?
That's
normally you closer to me.
See,
today,
I told you he was gonna.
Normally you are. Normally her leg is touching my leg.
Well, I have more space. I'm not touching anybody's
I
leg.
know. Like, what's up with that today? What's
Wow.
changed? What's changed?
So you could talk about, dating my cousin, but I can't not
First
sit
of all,
right
she's
next
She's so
to you.
pretty though.
I know.
But what I'm saying is,
right
no.
now? You
But
being a
what I'm
hater
saying
right
is
now?
that I can't sit right. Like I need
Wait,
to sit
wait.
right next to you.
Can we talk about these seats
my
again?
gosh,
Because
that's so
I
funny.
feel like this whole show I've just been sliding down until
So
I get to
last
the
time
edge.
I had to put something like under. That's what I asked you. I
Yeah.
said, "Are you sliding?" Because I wanted to help you,
I
but
am.
you didn't say anything.
I am. I'm trying. I'm just gonna deal with it.
You were
I'm
like-
just gonna keep pushing myself back in
Well.
the chair. I'm good to go.
You're
Well,
working out your
So you know how in
your
the beginning of the
glutes,
show
all
I
that
said
stuff.
this episode is sponsored by. To the day I say this episode is sponsored by Alchemy Row.
Can we say Alchemy Row and Aries Entertainment? What if we do
I mean,
a
we
twofer?
can.
Let's do a twofer.
I mean, we could.
So
I could even
in
put
my
the logo right
sponsorship-
there. Like, so yeah, you guys know this podcast. I'm very consistent. I'm the number one podcast out here in the AV. I will gladly put somebody else's logo up here and through the whole show if you sponsor it. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, in my sponsorship, I will just buy you new chairs. It'll be a big old
can
fat
do that.
logo on the chair.
But nobody's gonna see it though.
That's okay. I'll know.
All right, I'm
It's
good with that.
not all things about everybody else knowing. Sometimes it's
Cool.
just about you personally
And you know
knowing.
what? I will be happy to accept that.
All right, cool. That way, every time you have a guest on there, I'm like, dude, where do you get these chairs? These are amazing.
Alchemy Row.
That's right. Actually, I need to do the same
I got
thing
this
in
on
my own
camera,
bar.
right?
I need to do the same thing. All the chairs need to be replaced. in
Oh
10
yeah,
years.
because your black ones, he got red and black chairs. The black ones, everybody slide down. You can see people always switching out the chairs. So if you get up and you on a red chair, your red chair gonna be gone. by
My
the time
thing
you
is
come
the
back.
wobbly ones. Like it's like so those chairs they swivel. There's a berry underneath. I'm not sure. There's got to be a way to fix them, but I'm too lazy to do that. But some of them like wobble. Like I'm like, okay, this chair's got to go. Done with this one.
Yeah, but at least my chairs.
That's funny. He's all picking on yours because you started picking on him.
I know. Mine are still more comfortable. They have padding.
They are.
Again, when I get some sponsors.
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting used to them
I am-
now.
Mike,
Like
I am on a budget,
your
too.
butt just has to get used
I got
to
you.
it.
I'm just teasing you.
I'm not. I don't make the money that I used to doing TV shows. I start this whole thing for me is a whole nother career move that I made.
Okay,
And
so
it's
let's
all
talk
me.
about you for a minute.
Oh, well, go ahead.
Why did you stop doing TV shows?
Because after the pandemic,
Yeah.
I really got into the mindset of, you know what, I'm older now. Like I made a lot of money. I've had great success on all the shows that I made, but I wanted to do something more meaningful and purpose. I was at that point in my life
That's awesome.
where I didn't want to chase money. I didn't want to chase the fame because I grew up in entertainment.
Yeah.
Like so, I didn't want to chase that no more. Like it didn't have no meaning. It wasn't fulfilling for me.
It wears you down a little
Yeah.
bit too.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've done the same
Yeah.
thing, and I got to a point in 2020 when the pandemic hit that I was going to shift too. That's why I think I said to you earlier, I went to a Secret Service Academy for a little while. I did stuff in law enforcement. I went to school and got a degree in criminology. The pandemic, I signed up for school. In 15 months, I got another degree.
Wow.
And I haven't done anything with it yet. But right out of school, I applied for CDCR, which is California Department of Corrections, and I applied what I did in school. My main subject in school was the treatment of mental health issues in these facilities, in correctional facilities. And they were starting this thing where they were going to hire like 20 people for each facility that helped with inmates that had mental health issues or addiction issues, and that's what I was getting into. That's what my facet was for school. That's what I got my major in was mental illness for inmates, and so I was going to do that. Funny enough, applied for CDCR, went through the process for the whole year, and I bought a bar, and I don't even know how that all happened, but now I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to end up shifting more back that direction because I think as a peace officer, you can't own a bar. So I don't know how that all goes yet, but I really do advocate for the help of those inmates because people don't realize that they shut down all the psychiatric facilities for inmates because of harmful practices and whatever not. Wow. But now they're all in general population of jails and prisons, and they're just recidivating. They're constantly staying in because they're constantly getting in trouble because they're not getting treated, and there's just not enough treatment.
I think you can still advocate for them and own your bar.
I think so too.
And like do really great things, like do fundraisers and partner up with some of these mental health foundations out here, and like really do some big things to help.
Yeah.
So I actually used to be part of the prison ministry. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Ministry?
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna say something else.
So yeah, I went to a couple jails. This was in Orange County. It was a while ago, like 10 years ago.
Are you comparing like AV jails to Orange County jails?
Did I say that?
I don't know. This man,
Why do you keep picking? Are you that jealous?
I know, because every time you say Orange County.
Wait. How many jails are in the AV? He said jails, like plural. I think there's only one.
It's actually a prison. But yeah, so I loved it. It was, it's something that I'm actually really fascinated by. And I was talking to one of our classmates, Termiko, about it, because she works with like domestic violence survivors. But I told her, I said, did you, because I thought I heard it, or maybe I was just, thinking about it a lot. I said, did you do your workshop with the people that are abused, or like the abusers, or offenders, I guess, whatever you want to call them? And she said, no, I was with the survivors, but that sounds like a good idea. And I was like, yeah, I mean, they really need it, because think about it, like they're the ones that are gonna, can
continue
do it again. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, how do you, there's got to be that's why I said there has to be an answer to really reestablish somebody. Or, I mean, especially certain cases, like there's got to be a way to help them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because what happens is they get thrown back into society with the same issues, and it never gets checked, and then they have problems over and over again.
So I was telling her, I was like, you should really please look into it. Please do it. And so, I mean, I definitely want to follow up with her, and I really want to get back into it. And I was looking for it, something if they do it out here, but I couldn't really find it. And also we were in the class and doing so much, but it's something that is definitely very much
and as far as addiction issues and stuff, to answer something that you brought up earlier, we do a little bit of thing. I have a brother-in-law who advocates for treatment. He's a former addict, and he's been sober for a certain amount of years, and now he's doing big things in the community of addiction and issues like that. So he actually, on I think it's Tuesdays and Saturdays right now, he does a big book study at Alchemy Row in the back. Obviously no alcohol, we're closed, so he does a big book study for people with addiction issues at our bar.
Like AA?
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff for AA, and I don't know what the whole big book thing, because when you really get into AA, you'll find out that there's a big side of it of people that are really into it, that study on a constant basis, and they are it's kind of spiritual in a way. So that's what that big book study is changing trends and reading stuff and researching stuff that helps build better practices for their issues from before. Yeah. And he's doing a lot of big things. He's doing big events in the community with mayor and different things where they're advocating for that help. You know what I mean? So I know they have something coming up soon, and I'm not sure the date exactly, but it's they're doing something to help. They're doing some kind of outreach program to help kids develop and establish themselves before they get to that point. Of adulthood, preventative stuff. Yeah, so
that's really big right now.
Yeah, they're doing something with professional fighters, and
they're saying that it's a lot easier, I guess, to prevent than to treat. Yes. So, that's really big right now. There's a lot of programs and people really trying to push that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's really cool.
It's good. It's definitely needed, and that was what my whole thesis was at the end of my school. This last one was all on just mental health issues being really unchecked throughout our entire nation, not just in inmates or whatever, but just, all over the world. It's crazy.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So, what is your future plans for that, as far as Alchemy Row or Aries Entertainment, to get involved in that space?
I'm not sure exactly, but I know. So My wife does, she has a little organization called Thanks Love. So we do a lot of stuff in the community already, which I think we're going to go in the same direction with it at some point. But like even as of now, like homeless, which is a bit riddled with mental illness, obviously, we do a lot of stuff on Thanksgiving and Christmas where we provide meals, bags, and, basically blankets, all that kind of stuff, like for that community. Yeah, necessities basically. And we've been doing that for years. So we know that this next year, which we couldn't do it this year, we wanted to do a lot more this year, but we couldn't. But next year, we're really going to push to do more things during those months, during that time. And she's really going to try to grow her little program through our program. So really what you'll see more is Thanks Love, but it'll all be attached. You know what I mean?
You said Thanks Love?
Yeah, that's the name of my wife's little community thing that she does where she, helps out and helps people with those type of issues. Like I said, we haven't had a set plan yet, but I know sometime in the middle of this year, we're going to work on some stuff to grow that.
You didn't bring us nothing to drink?
I was just looking for yours. I was like, how come you're...
What was the first thing you said to me?
I'm just saying you own
What
a
was
bar.
the first thing you said to me?
Normally our guests, they actually bring us, like when someone bakes cookies or something, they bring us some cookies, some samples and stuff. I thought Mike was going to bring a bottle or something.
I brought you an energy drink.
Did you?
No. It's in my car. But the first thing Mike said to me when I got here is that you look like you just woke up, which is not even true. I just look like this.
No, he had sunglasses on and shit, and it's like, damn, dude. Like he didn't want nobody to see his eyes.
Yeah, I felt a little beat up today. I'm not gonna lie.
Same.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. The late night thing gets to me, and I got a little kid running around the house screaming.
You know what's funny?
There's no sleep in my house.
Yeah, I woke up today and I was like, why do I feel hungover? Like I didn't even get drunk. Like I wasn't even drinking last night.
I don't drink, so
I was like, I don't even know why.
I did.
Yeah.
I own a bar and I don't.
You got
really
drunk
drink.
last night?
I didn't say I get drunk.
Okay.
I started drinking last night.
Did you? By yourself?
Well, because you didn't want to come over.
You didn't.
That's messed up.
I mean, you didn't ask me to go over.
I mean, I shouldn't have to ask you.
Wow.
Was it mind read?
I just need to know. Yeah, right.
No, because we had class all day, and then after that we had a meeting that I was telling you about. We was at Thief and Barrels with Barbara, so we had some wine over there during our meeting.
I'm actually a little interested. I hate to cut you off, but you went to class, right? You went to school. What exactly was that for?
What do you mean?
What was it for? What did you get what was the 8-month class for?
Wow.
Well, no, you said it earlier, but I want to know. I want to know more about it.
It's
amazing.
It's a certified certificate in applied positive psychology.
So
okay,
there's
it's about your taking care of your well-being. So positive psychology itself is just about the problem. They focus on the problem,
right.
And all that. Positive psychology focuses on your well-being, and because we understand that you're going to go through struggles every day, you're going to go through ups and downs, right? But it's how can you thrive through that and struggle well. So it focuses on what went well. So, for instance, if you had a bad day today, okay, we know you had a bad day today, right? But what actually went well today?
Yeah, seeing the light.
Yeah, and then you start off with like the simple things. Well, you woke up, you had a bed to sleep in, you had a roof over your head, you had water to take a shower.
Yeah,
so you get all these little jolts of joys, then you string them all together to where you're struggling well, and your problem seems to be shrinking down.
That makes
to
sense.
put a different perspective on it.
Not just that, I feel like it's also, I mean, what I took from it a lot is normalizing being normal.
Right.
And it's like
normalizing being normal.
Yeah.
Explain that.
So it's like, everybody has those emotions. You're mad, you're angry, you're upset, you're sad, but people act like they don't, or like you don't want to talk about it. It's hush hush. Like, no, because I'm weak, or it's gonna show vulnerability, or I don't want to talk about that, or I'm ashamed. I'm this. I'm that.
And it's weird because we talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
We were having this conversation how we're bred to be like that.
Yeah.
Depending on where you come from and all kinds of different things, sex, whatever, race, whatever. We're bred to do certain things and we don't even catch it. And that's one of them is talk about our emotions and normalizing those issues. That we all have.
So, and it's like we live in a world where it's like we're seeing these like little snippets on social media or movies where like that's becoming so popular right now. And so we just take those moments and we're like, oh, that's how everything should be. It's like, or when you're struggling and you're having a hard time, it's like, oh, it's like, it's hard for people to go through those things, but it's like, that's normal, you know?
Yeah,
and so
definitely.
it's like, and not only that, it's like, it's not going to be easy to get over things. It's going to be hard sometimes, you know? And that's okay. Like, and so that's what I say, like, it's normal. Like, it is going to be hard, and you're going to need a lot of support. It's going to take a lot of work. And so it's like we learn it, but then we also learn how to apply it. So like, and the key pillar, there's like pillars, right? There's 6 pillars. The PERMAH, it's not only positive emotions, it's engagement. So like, what do you actually like doing?
Yeah.
You know, and like, what are you actually good at? Like, if you're going to be at a job and you're not applying your strengths, it's like, man, like, not only number one, are you going to be miserable, but that company is going to fail. You're going to have problems because it's just not functional, you know? And so, and then the other one is relationships. So like, how do you engage with people? Are you honest? Are you a good friend? Are you caring? You know, are you really taking that person into consideration? The other one's meaning. So like, what's your meaning, your purpose, and things like that. And A is accomplishments. So like, you celebrate yourself, like, be proud of yourself. And even the bad things, like, okay, I was addicted to whatever, or I got out of jail or whatever, but now I'm not. And it's like, you know, that's your accomplishment though.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
hey, you know, and you just have to give yourself grace. So yeah, it's amazing. It's really like life-changing. You're really able to just push back all of the BS basically, and just be like, you know what, that was something that happened, or this is something that I'm going through, and it's okay. And you're like really transparent and vulnerable and able to talk about those things.
That's
and
cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was an 8-month course.
Yeah.
And they taught us all these things. Like she said, you know, it's 8 pillars, and these are all the things
6.
that we kind of, I'm sorry, 6 pillars, yeah. And they, 8 is my favorite number. And they teach us all these different, you know, tools and skills. They teach us about, you know, character strengths. Like, you know, these are my five top character strengths. You know, we all have 24 character strengths, and we use all 24, but those are our top 5.
Okay.
Right? Like, it's like the love language. Like, we all have 5 love
I like that.
languages,
Yeah.
and you use them all, but you have your top 1, right? So it's a lot of stuff that we went through.
It
in the
really
8 months.
focuses on being like self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, people, like, sometimes you forget about yourself, you
I
know,
think,
you're
and
like,
I think it's important for everybody
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
self-aware, actually.
and
Yeah.
that's like the problem with mental illnesses, is like, sometimes you're doing something for somebody else, or you don't even know yourself. You're like, what do I like? You know, like,
Yeah.
what do I actually want to do? Is this something like that I thought I had to do for my family,
And
for whoever?
what's weird about that, actually, too, funny enough, is that you to sometimes to be self-aware and find that out, and find out that you're actually lost.
Yeah.
Something, unfortunately, cataclysmic has to happen a lot of times. And that
Yeah.
sucks. I wish that somebody could just go through a class.
It's so true.
And see this,
Yeah.
and then become self-aware that way. But 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
the person doesn't become self-aware until something cataclysmic happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, like, even me a few years ago, I was telling him earlier, I went through something kind of rough, relationship stuff rough, and business rough stuff, and, you know, the pandemic shutting me down, that all weighed on me. And it took that for me to look back and be like, I'm doing everything for everybody else. I stopped doing stuff for myself. I noticed I wasn't singing anymore. I wasn't playing sports anymore. Starting to become like a little bit out of shape, you know? And I changed all that through that self-awareness, but it
Yeah.
took something big for me to
Yeah.
get out of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, and so that's why it's like, it's a daily thing. One of the things that you learn in the beginning of the class is a tiny habit, small habit. And so it's something that you incorporate in your life that's easy, but it's like, it's daily. It's a daily thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not just going to be like, oh, a quick fix and whatever. So it's something like just you have to like remind yourself sometimes, you know, like literally talk to yourself sometimes. You're like, dude, you know, because we forget sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very amazing course. So it was offered by the city of Palmdale through
that's
the
cool.
city of, so they offered scholarships through the program.
So they're going. So we was part of the second cohort class. They're doing a third one in April, and like the new mayor of Palmdale and the whole city council members was there at our graduation yesterday, and they're trying to secure funds to do a 4th one.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
because
to do it in Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Because
awesome.
Yeah.
they see the impact that we're making, like from the first class to our class. Like
Not to change subjects, that's something I've always wanted to do. Be able to speak fluent Spanish.
Yeah?
I don't know why. I just have always wanted to.
Me too.
I think you mentioned that last
I
time,
think so.
and I was
I
like,
think so.
Rosetta Stone?
I've done them, and what happens is I learn a set things, and I'll never forget them, which is funny, but I don't stay on it. I
Yeah.
don't know why. I know the same 5 to 6 Spanish words. I can enunciate them perfect. It sounds good, but like
takes
that's it.
consistency.
That's it. Yeah,
And
it
you know
does.
what? You know how my parents learned the movies? So they would put the subtitles in Spanish, and then they would start listening to the words and just practicing a lot. Like, even a lot of people don't learn because they're like, I sound bad, or like my accent, or they're embarrassed. But it's like, dude, just do it.
I
You
went
just
through
gotta
a phase where I was
practice.
watching foreign films, and
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing, but I don't pick up the info. I don't know why I don't pick it up that way. I think
Yeah.
it's because they go too fast, and I need it a little slower.
Yeah.
But I couldn't pick it up, and for a while, for like a couple of years, I would watch nothing but Spanish films.
But you know what? My friend, he did that because he was moving to, I think, Paris, and he wanted to learn French. And for 6 months, like every time I went to his house, all he had on TV was French stuff,
See?
radio.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
said
you gotta
that's
engulf
all-
yourself.
Ooh,
You
I
really
think
have to
you can slow
engulf
it
yourself
down
into
now
it.
on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang, I need to be using that.
I think you
I need to
can.
be using that. Because
Yeah.
I used to love
Because
that.
I know for sure you could speed it up.
One of my best friends is Costa Rican, and she was the one who gave me the idea to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But I look at it back at it now. I look back at it now, and I'm like, I actually did learn.
Yeah.
I just don't give myself credit for it, and I also didn't continue.
Yeah.
And I didn't practice enough.
gotta
know?
practice.
And you have to have somebody to practice with.
Yeah.
It's important.
Well, you're in the AV. There's a lot of Latinos here.
I'm going to try. I'm telling you. In
Yeah.
the next couple of
You're
years,
like,
I
do you
would
speak
love
Spanish?
I'd love to be fluent. That would be awesome.
Order in Spanish, please.
I try to talk, and
That's
then
what-
I get all
Nervous, right?
and-
But you just got to push through it.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, everybody has accents, and sometimes they sound attractive. So
that's why-
don't
that's
take it-
why I only
don't-
date Latin
don't
women.
be embarrassed.
Is that why?
Yeah, but because I want them. I
Because
want
he
one
wants to
of
learn
them.
Spanish.
But they get scared and they don't want to teach me because they want to cuss me out in Spanish.
Oh yeah, they don't want you to know what
They
they're
don't know what the
saying.
fuck they're saying. Yeah, my second wife
They're
did
like,
that.
that's the only way I can release my anger.
But now just listen for my name. Like I know what you're saying. Like honestly, because of my second
I
wife.
can understand it pretty well.
No, I can understand what someone's saying, especially when they're talking about me. I can understand that fluently because she did that a lot. So I know when you're talking about me.
Sometimes.
But anyways,
I've tested it.
I don't like you right now. You ready for these questions from your staff?
Oh, you really did get questions from the
I
staff?
thought you were joking.
Are you-
Oh,
Oh.
God. Okay, go ahead.
Are you nervous?
No. What do I have to be nervous about?
Well, who's your favorite bartender?
Ooh, I'm not answering that question.
Yeah,
Why?
that-
Can I say myself? I'm my favorite bartender.
hey, self-love is important.
No, you know what? I'll be honest.
But don't be. Because
No?
you know I'm not editing. I don't want you to call me later on. Hey, Mike, don't edit that out.
My honesty shouldn't really offend anybody, though, because I will say if we were talking about who's the best bartender there, technically, in my opinion, I would say my wife is the best,
I
hands
knew
down
you were gonna
bartender.
do that.
Hold on, there's a reason though.
Hold on.
That's a
Hold on,
cop-out.
there's a
That's
reason.
a
There's a
bullshit
reason.
ass answer.
The reason why I say that is because she has the biggest combination of both. She has the biggest knowledge of the bar, in the bar.
Okay.
Nobody knows more about bartending than her. And that is just purely the truth.
Okay, well
That's not even a lie. Then you have to pick your best is who's the hardest worker, right? Who's the one who moves the most. When she's back there and she's working, she works so hard. And then the combination of knowing the most, I'm like, she has to win. Even I give her over
Okay,
me.
but your wife can't be a part of this.
Okay, so because she's an owner, is that why?
That's
Because he likes the drama. Look at him.
I don't
Look at that.
know.
He's
Okay. Let me
trying
ask you
to
this.
stir
Then. Let me ask you
something
this. Next question. Who's your favorite cook?
Who is my favorite cook? These are loaded questions.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like questions from the staff.
This is just going to get me upset.
They
get
just
me in a
wanted to
fight.
know who the favorite was.
No, these are all my
This is
questions.
like, this is like a little,
I was
like a little
this
kid.
doesn't-
Am I your
I'm like,
favorite?
this doesn't
Am I your
sound
favorite?
like questions from them.
I'm just fucking with you, Mike.
Do you want him to lose his staff or what?
No, because I like them all.
I'm my favorite cook.
No,
That's why.
no, honestly, no one. I did tell a few of them that you was gonna be on the show, and they was like, "Oh, really?" But they didn't tell me actually nothing.
Oh,
Those are my
really?
questions.
Yeah, they should have. That would have been funny, actually.
I know it.
We would have had to edit it out.
No, I don't edit shit. But I do need because we are about to run out of time in a minute. I do need Mike. Why you touching my leg?
I was accidentally kicked it.
I think, but I
Jeez.
have a pretty good staff. They're pretty cool.
No, you have an awesome staff, 100%.
they are pretty
From karaoke to the road, you have awesome staff.
Yeah, they are good.
Yeah, I like them. So I do have a question for you. Or not a question. I need your mic drop.
My mic drop.
Yes.
What do you mean by that? Explain that. Like you want me to drop?
I'm gonna start getting offended.
Want me to start-
Like people don't
you
watch
gotta
my
throw it,
Instagram.
and then-
People don't watch them.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Clearly.
You know what?
I didn't
you know what I'm
see
saying?
this.
Oh my god.
I don't make it to the end of these podcasts a lot of times. So
You don't have the thing in one
It's
ear and like try to do the. Nah. You could do that when you're trying to learn Spanish, maybe.
that would work.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a mic drop is this.
Okay.
Is when I take a snippet of something pretty. You know what a mic drop is? When
Yeah.
someone says something dope, and it's mic
I'm
drop.
in the industry. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
So say something
mic
dope,
drop. Say something.
So
basically.
What do
you
you
want me
want
to
to
say
do?
something cool and walk off
no.
stage? Is what you're saying?
No, I don't want you to leave though. But I mean, I want you to
Yes.
say something cool.
They always
so
have these mics you can't really drop because they're connected to the thing.
Do it. I'm on a budget. Please don't
It's like
drop
a
my mic.
metaphorical mic
funny-
drop.
funny
It's
enough-
a
funny
metaphorically.
enough, mic dropping makes me cringe. For real, in real life.
Because of sound?
Like, okay, I've had some bad experience, but first of all, wireless mics can't take a mic drop.
Yeah.
No, you
And all my stuff is
Right.
wireless,
Yeah.
so that's bad. I've had somebody tomahawk my microphone
Oh, wow.
all the way across the stage one time, and it shattered into pieces. So I think dropping of a mic just it makes
He's
me
getting all
feel
technical.
iffy.
Hey, you know where people got that from? Because
Mm.
when celebrities do it, but people don't realize a lot of those celebrities that do it, they bring their own mics because they don't want nobody else's mic.
There's a whole other side to it that bugs me about dropping a mic, though. You know, if you don't have, like, for instance, I don't have like $1 million system, right? So when you talk about like Netflix a special and someone drops a mic, right? Okay, well they can get away with it because they have things to protect their system from the drop. Me, I do not. If you drop a mic, if I drop this microphone from here to the ground right now, the feedback alone will blow a speaker out. I'm just saying, but people don't know that.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Right.
cringe a little bit. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Like I always do that anytime someone drops a mic. And then sometimes I think it's cool because it's funny, like the way they do it. But yeah. Okay. Anyways, so mic drop. Back to mic.
So something that you just
mic drop.
something that
Metaphorical.
you want to give, whether it's a inspirational quote, something from Alchemy Row, something from Aries Entertainment, what you want to leave the people?
I wish I would have thought about this before I said anything, but I think I would love to leave the show with this statement, and that is to not be scared to follow your dreams and to follow them, just to do it. Sometimes just going after something. Well, even if you don't succeed, it's okay. It's okay to fail. Just always fail up. You know what I mean? Like if you went for something, if it doesn't work out, when you walk away, say, I went for it.
Right.
And that's the one thing that I would love to leave all people, because that's the big thing that I would say I've done in life is that I went for it, and it did not always work out.
But
a lot of times it's not.
That's one. I love what you said about fill up, and two, that's the important part. You did it. You tried.
He's going to steal that. From
Because
you, by the way.
At the end of the day, a lot of the stuff you do in life is trivial. You know, it really is. But if you can look back at what you did and said, man, I lived it though. I did it. I tried everything I could. And I will say I've tried a lot of things that not succeeded, and I've tried some things that have succeeded.
Yeah.
So you have to do that. That is part of living, you know? And that's a fighter mentality too. So I really do believe in that.
I love that.
Where do you fight at? Or you don't do it anymore?
No, I still do. I've taken quite a bit of a break now, but I trained at SoCal Fight Factory for over a decade. Keys to the gym, taught kids, taught adult beginners, and even fought multiple times in smokers and amateur stuff. And
Cool.
yeah, I love that. I love the whole sport, because that's what the whole thing is about. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna win and lose.
Yeah.
There's no way you can be in a sport like that and not get hurt,
Right.
not lose a fight.
I think you told me it's jujitsu, right?
No, I
You
did.
like
I did a lot of
jujitsu or
MMA, a lot of MMA. So a lot of all of it. But
Okay.
a lot of boxing, a lot of Muay Thai,
Oh, okay.
and a lot of grappling.
Oh, cool.
A lot of everything. But I loved it.
Nice.
Still love it. Still shout out to SoCal. In fact, Joey, who's been on your show, her boyfriend,
Yeah,
who-
boyfriend.
Yeah,
Jesse,
that's right,
he
that's
fought in
right.
UFC.
You told
He was
me,
one of
yeah.
my main sparring partners, training partners.
Oh, okay.
He's hurt me quite a bit. broke my nose at least a couple times.
Yeah. I've seen some of his fights.
That sounds like fun. I think I need to do that.
You know what? Not necessarily competing wise, but I think all people, everybody should learn how to defend themselves.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And it's important for so many reasons. One, just to help your overall health, but also mentally wise, it gives you a little confidence that you can protect yourself. You know, that scared feeling goes away a little bit because, you know, the world's crazy. Anything can happen. But when you have a little bit of that, it gives you a little bit of self-confidence and your body rewards you.
So you said that they train kids there?
Yeah.
And like group
you should
classes
see my kids
or private?
They do both. It just depends. Okay. I always suggest, especially for kids a certain age, they want to be over 5 for sure, but 6, 7 is a little bit better because they don't focus
before
at a certain age. Yeah. But it is the best thing for a kid.
I'm gonna check it out.
And what you should do is put them in classes, just regular classes, no privates. Don't pay for privates. Wait until they really want to compete or do what they're doing. Then go out, and there's amazing. That gym that I go to is the dumpiest in the heart of the ghetto of Palmdale. But the truth is I mean, there is a world-renowned Muay Thai instructor there named Pan. That's like 5'10". There's 4 black belt jiu-jitsu artists in there, and there's multiple professional fighters that go and they do these classes. And to me, it's the best little gym in town as far as that is concerned.
But those are always the best gyms.
They really are, right? Yeah. They really are. It's great.
Very cool.
So what's your mic drop?
Ooh.
I always do one. You go first.
Well, you got to do one hello, are you not a part of this show?
I don't remember doing it every single time.
Oh my God.
I think you forget.
It is hard getting hard help, right?
I'm not even going to say anything about that.
Is that your mic drop?
Because then you're going to regret it.
Is that your mic drop?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything.
What? Be careful. Like, think about what you say before you say it.
Boom.
Boom.
Especially you, Mike.
That goes 2 ways. Remember, you're between 2 mics.
Who mic you talking about?
Which mic are you talking to?
I know you're looking at me, but are you really like who you talking about?
You know who I'm talking about.
Come on,
but I
you
would
just
say
graduated
that,
positive psychology class.
I know. I'm just
8 months. Give me something.
I'm just teasing you.
Give me something.
Clearly, you know you're cranky. You haven't eaten, huh?
I haven't.
You need a
I knew it. I was like, dude, he is so cranky right now.
I'm not cranky.
You
earlier
hangry.
Today, hold on. Earlier today, when she called me, I was like, "Hey, what's up?" You was like, "Oh, you in a great mood." Exactly.
Yeah.
So how
those are my favorite commercials. Have you seen those Snickers commercials?
Because it's rare.
Have you seen the Snicker commercials? Yeah. Those are my favorite commercials. Where they're like, it's like a group of 4 people sit in a car, and like it's like Aretha Franklin in the back, and they're like, "Steve, eat a Snickers. You're being a diva," and then he eats a Snickers, and it's not. It's their buddy. I love those. Those are my favorite. Oh my god.
Yeah. It was something that I said in class yesterday.
Oh my God! Can I say this real quick? Hold on, pause.
You're such a jerk.
So no. Hold on, dude. So we had our class was like maybe 32, 33 people, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end,
I think we're out of time.
No, we're not. At the end, you know, that we all got our certificates, right? And we all had to, you know, say a little something, right? And everybody kept their thing to like a minute or two, right? This is Tanya. When it came to Tanya, this is Tanya. Okay, y'all, I wrote a little something, right? Tanya wrote the longest fucking speech.
It was.
Wait, but hold on, real quick. I have a question. Was there a part in it where you were like, it was awkward, it was too long? Was there ever a part in it where you're just like, oh my God, hurry up, time, get it out? Yeah. Did you want to jump out? Like, stop.
I mean, I looked at her and I was like, oh wow, I mean, everything she said was amazing.
Okay,
right?
so then she was spot on. Then you
no, you're right, but it was just long. Even like Lewis was like, yeah, that was just a little something. And look, she was on her phone just scrolling.
And this is why I wrote something, because everybody was talking. They were supposed to present their project, their community project, whatever. And so everybody kind of had their own, but I did one on my own. And so I didn't know if he was going to ask me to speak or not, because I wasn't like sure, right? So I was like, well, I guess
Tanya did 4 projects. She's an overachiever.
3.
Or 3.
And so I was like, just in case, I guess. Like, I'm not sure. I didn't really feel like asking him or clarifying.
Wait, can I ask you, when did you write that? Because you didn't write that shit.
The day before yesterday.
Okay, I was about to say, you didn't write it yesterday.
Yeah, the day before yesterday, and then I like reread it 2 times after that. And then I was like, I gotta like fix this. And I'm not like the best.
So 90% of Aries Entertainment's private gigs are weddings. You know how many people do those awkward speeches? That's all I can think about right now. Like that uncle that gets up and says something, and you're like, oh,
it wasn't even that long. It was. I timed it. It was 4 minutes.
Okay, compared to everybody else.
Yeah, but that's because everybody wasn't prepared.
Everybody else is like 30 seconds a minute, the most.
Yeah, whatever.
You should answer calls on your podcast.
Right?
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
No, you ever take callers?
No, I didn't. We have a number, and I want to do that eventually. But the only thing that I got nervous about is because everybody kind of knows she's my co-host now, or she's I don't want to use the word co-host no more. Like I guess it is co-host, but you're host. Anyways, I was like, damn, do I gotta fucking write a speech? Like, I was like, I gotta top that, like. Is anybody going to expect that from me?
Yeah. See, no, he just said
I was like, damn.
He was like, I can't go.
Are they going to? But you know what? You know what was funny though? When it came to me, I noticed everybody took out their phone and did this.
Everybody.
Why?
No, it was.
Oh, Mike, I'm kind of a big deal.
Everybody was recording other people anyway.
Do you have many leather-bound books?
There were people recording throughout the whole thing.
No, there was, but more.
Yeah, so do you have like many? Do you have like many leather-bound books? Does your apartment smell of rich mahogany?
You stupid.
You said you were a big deal. I was just making sure.
I am kind of a big deal. I mean, everywhere I go.
Everywhere you go.
She always like, damn, everybody knows.
Listen, here's the truth, Mike. You are big. You are a big deal. You are a big deal.
I don't.
You really are.
I mean, they just said director of the year.
No, but I think that I kind of froze because I was like, I don't know what to say. But I wrote something down yesterday. I was like, so let me just, and I was like, maybe like the 5th person that went or so. So I didn't know everybody else was going to be so short after. Not my fault. But
you did.
What's funny though? The person that went after me, they were like, everything she said.
Yeah, everything she said.
Everything she said.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on. What she said.
Yeah. And she was like, and it's perfect because I gotta go. So
yeah. I mean, you know what? Your mic drop should be easy. Take something out from what you said.
What you said. Dude, my friend does that all day.
And mind you, we are on time limit here.
So
keep it under 3
no,
minutes.
I will just say that one of the things that I loved that I took away from the course was that I am only in control of myself. And so what that means is, when things happen to you, in life, if it has something to do with somebody else or it's a situation, you just kind of have to think about, you can't control other people, but you can control yourself. How you react, what you do, your mentality, be graceful, be kind, not just to yourself, but to others, and a lot of people hold grudges. They can't forgive, or they treat people badly because they hurt. And so you have to make them feel as bad as you do. And, I think that's just sad, and it's like, let's not live in a world where we keep hurting each other. Let's break the cycle.
I love that.
I love that. Thank you.
I really do love that.
Thank you for keeping under 30 seconds.
I knew that was coming.
You're welcome.
Are you flipping me off?
No, what are you talking about?
Roll up your sleeve.
Wait,
no, I'm not doing nothing.
So what's your mic drop, Mike?
Why does everybody always ask me
see?
that?
Yeah, where's yours?
Yeah.
I mean, you're making everybody else mic drop.
I mean,
Exactly.
I do one all the time, but
All right, let's
I
go
feel
then.
like you guys don't.
I haven't heard
do
yours
one.
before.
Aren't you on the show? We do one every
Are you
time.
brand new or what?
I mean, I got mine written down. So.
Were you
Oh,
born?
dang. Oh, so you wrote something.
Prepared.
Born,
No,
yeah.
That's not
actually,
even
I
fair.
did-
That's
I-
cheating. You
I
gotta
did
come off
not.
the cusp.
I did not write anything for this one. I normally do, but I didn't for this
See,
one.
he's always prepared. And
Except for when I come on the show,
Yeah, no,
apparently.
he does it to me all the time. I'm like, go ahead.
You're making me nervous now.
Don't
Good.
be nervous.
Good.
Oh, damn, we out of time.
That sucks.
Don't be
You know what? We'll add some extra time. Go ahead.
All right. Now, actually, my drop is I want to kind of piggyback back off what you were saying. To just be patient and consistent on what you do in life, whatever you chose to do in life. The one thing that I learned in our course was, because there was a time that I wanted to give up, because it was 8 months, and it was a long 8 months, and I almost gave up, but I had to be consistent with it. I had to have patience with it, even like with this show. Like, and this is something I kind of wanted to say. And I was going to do a thing about it, and I still am. But Spotify does this thing every year called Wrapped, and it kind of gives you analysts. Oh my God, I'm fucking up. What is the word?
I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Analytics.
Analytics. Thank you. See,
I stopped listening.
Look,
like
your degrees
5
are coming
words
in
away.
handy right now. Spotify does this thing called Wrap, and they give you your analytics of your show of the past year, right? And a lot of people always ask me, how the show doing and how, can it be profitable. I think you asked me that as well.
Yeah.
And you really do have to be consistent, stay consistent, and have patience with it. And what I've learned over the past year from these analytics is that my show grew about 350%. And I'm amazed at that. But that's because I stuck with it. Every Friday I do a show, right? I'm approaching my 100th episode. And it reminded me of what Gary Vee always talks about. When people start a podcast, between the 4th and the 8th episode, they always give up because they don't see the numbers.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, like, we all start at 0 followers.
Yeah.
Right? But you got to stay consistent, and you got to build that community and following, and just have patience. It will happen as long as you stay consistent and you have patience. At some point, you're going to scale.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my mic drop, is just stay consistent and stick with your dreams, stick with your belief.
Way over 30 seconds. Like,
You did
probably
good.
as long
you
as my
interrupt?
speech.
You just interrupted my mic drop.
Sorry.
That
I
wasn't
thought you
even
were
fair.
done.
No, I wasn't.
I thought he
You
was
said
done
that.
too.
See?
Damn.
Thank you.
Stay consistent, stay patient. At some point, your dream will come true, and you will see the results.
Yeah.
As long as you stay consistent and patient, you will see results.
Hard work always pays off.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I believe in that.
I told you he was going to steal your quote.
He jumped on it. He piggybacked. It's okay.
I said I was going to piggyback. Don't hate on me.
No. I hate. I'm just playing.
I love that.
I'm not going to say that no more. Anyways, we are out of time, man. Mike, I appreciate you, bro. Congratulations on the success of Alchemy Row.
Thank you
and
so
Aries
much.
Entertainment. I didn't realize you was doing it that long. Like I didn't know that backstory. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your wisdoms. Thank you for keeping a community place alive. I know a lot of people would really appreciate it. Thank you for being the man that you are. I appreciate you. I'm glad over the last year that I've gotten to know you. You're actually a pretty cool dude.
I appreciate that. And I feel the same. And thank you guys for letting me come on. This was so
thank
fun.
you too.
Like I said, I used to do one, and I forget how fun they are.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. I
It's
love
even
it.
fun when we have
We're pretty
sponsorships.
cool.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna talk about sponsorship and how many pennies
2
I'm
years.
gonna pay and all that stuff.
How many what you gonna pay?
Pennies. Oh man.
But thank you for coming
Yeah,
on, man. We
thanks.
truly appreciate it.
Thank you guys
man.
for having me so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for all the drinks. For the Trader.
You make
Trader
pretty good
Vic's.
drinks. Yeah.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Not that bad.
I
Oh,
think
just
Wait,
kidding.
can
You're
I?
really
I do
good.
gotta ask a question.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's gonna sound perverted on the show, but who the fuck came up with wet pussy? It's a drink, you guys, and it's amazing. I don't know who came up with that name.
I don't know.
Well, who
but
came up with the
just,
drink?
Just drinks have always been named dirty stuff. It just happens. I don't know.
Hey, have you done that Mexican thing that we
The
were
Mexican
like
candy?
whatever we were
Yes,
drinking that
yeah.
day? Have you kept doing it? Or no?
Mike made me do it the next day 2 times. Now,
Yeah.
I'd have to remember. I
So
know.
good.
Oh yeah,
It was
remember
like a
what's-
mix.
I remember what it's in. It's
Yeah.
it's basically both Mexican candy and that
Yeah,
together. I don't,
yeah.
know what it's like. I don't even like saying the name. We talked about it.
Yeah.
I don't like saying the
You don't
dirty
like
name.
The wet
wet
pee.
pussy?
Yeah, I just feel. I
I
don't
don't like
know.
that word either, actually.
Yeah. My wife hates that word.
Yeah.
She's like,
Well,
"Don't
who
call
named
that."
it?
Yeah.
It wasn't me. That's for sure.
Well, it's a nice drink.
Like, I'd rather use the other word.
Oh my God, you guys watering
Which
down
one?
the fucking
Crotch.
drinks now?
Crotch.
Wet
Right?
crotch.
Sounds
That
a
doesn't
little
even
better.
sound sexy.
Better than the other one.
It doesn't sound sexy.
I just don't like the P word. The other word.
I like how nobody answers my phone calls when I call them, but then they all call me when I'm doing something. Like, what is going on here?
All right.
All right.
Hey.
Anyways, thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
For your
Celebration
You're
tonight
welcome.
at Alchemy. Come
What?
out to Alchemy. and
I am
celebrate
going to
with
be
us.
there tonight.
All right.
I'm
gonna be there.
100% going to be there.
I'll be
tonight.
there.
You might be there.
I'll be there with my bar rag on.
Oh, wait. I take that back. Mel's coming tonight.
She might. Yeah. I mean, we might go.
Well, I'm going to be
Please.
where I'm going to
Yeah.
be. Look,
Definitely,
I'm going to be
please,
honest
Mel.
with you. I'm going to be wherever Mel's going.
I'm going to be wherever. Actually, let's all go wherever Mel's going. In fact, even if it's not at my bar, I'll just leave. I'll just leave.
Yeah.
Just let me know where
all
you
right.
guys are at.
All right. We out of here.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.